We've got one final speaker. The gorgeous Professor Dolores Cowan.
I would like to thank all of you for your support, and I won't keep too much time. The theme I'm just going to say is that our duty in life is to live it and not be afraid. So don't be afraid. So the opposite of fear is love. And so what we have to do is to figure out what's going on. And I will just give you some information about this virus. So when they call the pandemic, there are 7,800 million people in the world. And the World Health Organization called the pandemic on the 11th of March. And guess how many people, now all deaths are tragic, but guess how many people had died of SARS-CoV-2? 4,200. So you had a 1.1 in 1.8 million chance of dying when they called the pandemic. It had already spread to 114 countries all over the globe. Tuberculosis is another infectious disease, and every day in 2020, 3,000 people die of that. And of COVID-19, 56 people died. So 50 times more. There's absolutely no need. So when they talk about a second spike, there wasn't a first one. So the World Health Organization came out with figures on the 9th of March for how many people died, right? 3,000 of TB every day, 1,000 of influenza, 56 for SARS-CoV-2. So there was no need to call a pandemic. There was no need in Ireland or anywhere in the world to shut down the economy. Absolutely no need. And that is the fundamental issue, right? If there was no death or illness relatively from the virus, then all of the other consequences are legally, ethically, societally not necessary. So I will not be wearing a mask ever. I will not. And I would say in everything in life, it's the harm versus the benefit. If you wear a mask, it reduces your oxygen supply, and the OSHA standards in the United States say if your oxygen level is below 19.5%, that you can't work and you can't function. And once you put on any mask, it goes down under 18%. So you should not be wearing a mask. It's bad for your health. It suppresses your immune system. And I would say the government and the health agencies have to face the consequences of recommending employers and restaurants and bus drivers or anyone who's driving a vehicle to be wearing a mask that reduces their oxygen supply and increases their carbon dioxide to above dangerous levels. So it is wrong. So we have to stand up and say to the government, how dare you? How dare you? And so as I have done before, I am very happy and throwing down the gauntlet to my colleague. So let's throw it down to, who is it? Miriam, I don't watch RT anymore, but is it Miriam O'Callaghan? Yeah? Or to Professor Luke O'Neill, who I've met. Or to the Taoiseach, Micheál Martin. So I suppose my two things to today are about, the motto is, okay, don't be afraid. We are on this earth to live life. We have a duty to live life, not to be afraid. Don't be afraid. We have to speak the truth, and we have to value our freedoms. So what I'm saying about speaking the truth is, if I am wrong, I will go against 10 people or 20 people from the HSE, any doctor, any immunologist, Professor Luke O'Neill, the Minister for Health, that they need to provide the evidence for why they are mandating masks and why they are mandating social distance. I can honestly say it was never necessary. Never necessary. So the other thing though is, which is not good, is that in May 2020, Switzerland did a study of the harm due to the lockdown. So a lot of the evidence is known that for every 1% increase in unemployment, you get so many ill health effects, cancers and suicide. So Bloomberg did a study in May 2020, and guess which country is going to predict it to have the worst outcomes from society and lockdown in Europe? Ireland. So our unemployment rate has gone from 5.6% in February to 26% in June. But the hope is that we have to, now that we know what's going on, is that we can actually, help each other, encourage businesses. I'm actually very honored to work with the Public Banking Forum. I'm actually trying to set up a bank. And just the Public Banking Forum has done the work, but I'm just very honored to support them. And they have been in touch with Professor Richard Werner, who has set up a bank in the United Kingdom under the Sparkasse German model, okay? So what we're trying to do is not just stand up against, the government mandating things that are not good for your health, that were not necessary, are going to ruin another generation, okay? We had the banking crash, now they want to ruin another generation. So what we're saying is, speak up, don't be afraid, and we're having none of it, okay? Call it out. And I have said it before, but I just have to say that I am actually sad that I presumed that the people who had the honour to be elected for Ireland would actually, when they get there, try and work for Ireland. And what I've been thinking is, if they were, they're actually not working for us, okay? They're supposed to be, but they're actually, I think they could not have done a worse job. But what I'm saying to you is, we need your help, okay? I need your help. You need to, first of all, look after your own finances, okay? Reduce your debt, look after your health, get to know your neighbours, start to volunteer, look after your own mental health, build your communities and prepare for this planned economic crash that is going to come along in 3 to 6 months. So I know this is not good news, but what we've been waiting for, and what I've been waiting for, is some honesty in the conversation about Ireland, and to stop talking about whatever the globalist agenda, carbon dioxide, which is also another hoax, political correctness, and not actually dealing with the real issues in people's lives. So people come up to me and say, what can we do? So what you have to do for yourself is look after your mental health, look after your nutrition, plan the kind of future, because there will be a crash in the next year or two, and try and volunteer and do some good in the world, okay? Get to know your family, get to know your neighbours, and then I am supporting everybody on the Patriot movement side, and I'm very proud to be chair of Irish Freedom. But what you need to do is to actually vote for people on our side, and also, even if it's once a month, just talk to some of your family in a gentle way and tell them why you are doing what you're doing. Because what we can't do, the globalist narrative, is to have fear, to then push a vaccine that's unnecessary. So in Ireland, 1,100 people died out of nearly 5 million from COVID-19. In Japan, less than 1,000 people died out of 120 million, okay? But in Ireland we had the same deaths. 62% of the deaths are in the care homes, the largest number of deaths in Europe. So I think we've been badly served, the rain is coming. I just want to say that I am going to keep fighting. We're going to speak the truth. Thank you for coming out today. And do note, vaccines should not be mandatory. If there, I support the Health Freedom Ireland, I support them 100%. We have inalienable rights to bodily integrity, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom to practice religion, freedom to travel. All of our inalienable freedoms that cannot be taken away are being attacked by a virus that causes death that's much less than the influenza virus. You don't need masks, you don't need social distancing. Children should be in school.